Apromore is an open-source technology for process mining led by the University of Melbourne and several other research institutions around the world. Apromore allows analysts and managers to quickly analyze and understand the structure and performance of their business processes and to doing process mining. But what's process mining? There are many processes in each organization which are recorded as transactional logs or event logs in the enterprise system such as CRM or ERP system. Analysts and managers analyze these logs to gain insights about their business. This is called process mining. So the starting point for process mining is the availability of a transactional dataset. Sometimes the user can extract these transactional logs directly from one system, but other times, especially when the process is very complex and spans different systems, the user needs to first extract the datasets from 2 or more different systems and do some pre-processing on those datasets to make them prepared to load into a system like Apromore for analysis. Currently, Apromore software can import only one event log at a time in CSV or XCS format. So what was missing essentially in Apromore was a plugin for doing this pre-processing job: extract, transfer, and load pipeline, or ETL, and this was the focus of our project. Our goal was to create one such ETL software as an extension to the Apromore process mining software so that business analysts can spend less time on data pre-processing and focus on process mining and modeling. So we designed, developed, tested and documented an ETL plugin in an agile environment and integrated it into Apromore.
The first step is to upload files into the workspace. These files can be in CSV or Parquet format, which are both tabular in nature. Once the files are uploaded, we can see their excerpt in a pop-up or an expanded module. We can also go to the Transform tab and cherry-pick columns if required. We can also delete the table from the system, which deletes all corresponding columns from the excerpts. Let's upload 2 tables, user.parquet and procure-to-pay.csv. We can then consolidate the tables through SQL join queries based on specific keys and join types. In our case, we are doing an inner join with the ID and case ID as the 2 keys. Once they are joined, we can also see their excerpt below. Once we are happy with our consolidated data, we can cherry-pick columns from specific tables in the Transform tab. If we want, we can add all the columns from a specific table or add individual columns. We can also remove any columns that we might have added in by mistake. Next, we can add a new custom column to which we can then apply rules. Let's name it user salary and copy over the values from the salary column. Next, we can also perform comparative statistical and arithmetic operations to these columns. For example, we can concatenate the complete date and complete time to columns to form the timestamp. Once we've done that, we can rename it to timestamp. Let's apply some more rules. Rename the user salary to tax, and then if the salary is greater than 100,000, then multiply it with 0.3. We can then copy the same if statement to another block to minimize the work done by the user, and then apply similar rules for different salary groups. As you can see, the tax is updated based on our rules. Next, we can also stack rules. For example, we can use the previous rules result in the tax column to generate new results based on gender. Another use case of the product is called find and replace. For example, let's say we want to replace the user roles to their abbreviations. Requester becomes the letter R, purchasing agent becomes PA, and so on. And let's assume that we have the CSV file that defines these rules. We can then upload the CSV file and apply it to the rules. As you can see, it automatically detects the replacements from the CSV file and applies the rules accordingly. Finally, we can export this data into Parquet format and upload it into our system again for further processing, or directly upload it to the Apromore workspace for process mining.
So after nearly 1 year, so we are now close to completing the project that involved 8 students. I'm very satisfied and very happy to say that the students did an excellent work. They worked very well together in a cohesive team, and they diligently executed the project throughout its various phases. Not only did they implement the product, but they went through various cycles of design, discussions with the various stakeholders involved, not only myself, but analysts and consultants and developers from the Apromore team. They documented the technical requirements from the architectural design through to the user stories, implemented and tested the tool. And they even created a nice promotional video to advertise the tool. So in sum, I'm very happy with the results of this project.